fair share of taxes so we can expand Social Security, improve the benefits, and protect those workers. Maybe we should raise the minimum wage to a living wage for low-income workers. Maybe we should do what every other major country on earth does, George, and guarantee health care to all.
Important news, the lawmakers and stimulus checks are going out. Several states experienced record budget surpluses. Many are now discussing and approving new relief packages. Households will be able to receive extra relief this October as long as they meet the eligibility requirements in order to get the money. Several states across the nation are experiencing noteworthy budget surpluses, and the surplus in states' budget is actually attributing to a combination of factors, including robust economic growth, increased tax revenue, and financial management. The surplus in state budgets is opening up opportunities for strategic investments and initiatives. States are considering a range of options, including investing in critical infrastructure, bolstering education and healthcare systems, and they're seeing long-term liabilities like pension funds. Additionally, discussions are underway regarding tax relief measures or the establishment of rainy day funds to prepare for economic challenges. While the surplus in the state budgets is undoubtedly a positive development, policymakers are also mindful of the need for responsible federal stewardship. Now, balancing the allocation of surplus funds between immediate needs and long-term planning is important. A tax relief package was presented by a joint committee comprising members from the Senate of Massachusetts. The plan is expected to undergo votes in both chambers before reaching the governor later this month. House Speaker even said that emphasizes the differences between initial packages, knowing that it required numerous proposals and iterations to align them sufficiently for a consensus. The comprehensive plan aims to provide $561 million in relief for the current year, starting from July 1st, with the relief increasing to $1 billion by 2027. State senators have also highlighted the necessity for compromise to achieve a mutually agreeable package. The child-dependent care tax credit also played a pivotal role as cost driver, and efforts were made to maximize its impact. So far, it increases the child-dependent tax credit from $180 to $310, then up to $440 next year as well. It's expected to affect more than 5 million families. Additionally, it takes on the high cost of rent by increasing the cap on rental deductions. So, in the state of Alabama, people are also getting tax rebate checks during the fall season to those who qualified for some tax refunds. In the state of Georgia, the House bill will offer tax rebates of up to $500 for people who overpaid their taxes as well. Even people will start receiving the permanent fund dividend in 5 days for people in Alaska. It could be up to $1,300 if you qualify for the check. And from January to March of each year, people can apply for the program outside of the annual 3-month application. To qualify, you must be actually living there and a resident of the state. So people are. Now, the bill has also enhanced the federal Medicaid matching funds, and during this unwinding, millions of people are expected to lose coverage, and that could reverse recent gains in coverage too. While the number of Medicaid enrollees may be disenrolled during the unwinding period is highly uncertain, experts estimate between 7.8 and 24 million people could lose Medicaid coverage this year alone. Folks, the lawmakers are taking action. Billions of federal aid are being used towards new relief payments, and a one-time direct check worth $100,000 will be deposited. This is necessary action as millions of Americans continue to struggle due to the crisis. And while the federal government is dealing with a debt crisis, many local states have a cash surplus and rainy day funds. As a result, 27 states are considering cutting taxes or eliminating them altogether. According to the National Association of State Budget Officers, there has been 2 short years of widespread budget surpluses amid recent state policy. The institution of taxation and economic policy suggests that many states have now tax cut fever and are looking at offering property tax cuts, rebate checks, and reducing the amount of income taxes paid. In the case of Mississippi and Arkansas, cutting state income tax altogether is their plan. But CBS has noted that there are a number of reasons that state lawmakers have provided for the move. It includes making their states more economically competitive, boosting their growth, and boosting taxpayers who are struggling with inflation. For instance, the Georgia governor signed a bill that would give people in Georgia state income tax refunds. That means you can get up to $500 in your bank account for just owning a home. Single taxpayers and filers married jointly who will get $500 and $250 too as well. And head of household filers will get $375, and married people who file joint returns will get an additional $500 based on individual or couple's tax liability.
That we felt confident our resources could last until the beginning of June.
Okay. All right, I'm going to move on. I
have
did read. I did
cited-
reclaiming my time. I did read the statements. You had said June 1st or the following weeks, at which then tightened up, and that's fine. That's not what
That's
we're
been
here today about.
consistent, and it was
uh,
consistent with outside
reclaiming my
forecasts.
time on this, because I do want to hit on the International Development Finance Corporation as well, but I am also going to say something, repeat something to you that I've repeated to every other person from.
We have a ton of news about the fourth stimulus checks, Social Security benefits, SSI, and SSDI. A ton of news about the fourth stimulus payments are coming in. I have a lot of information that I'm going to share with you guys today in this video, so continue watching. The several lawmakers, everybody in Congress, have discussed new inflation relief checks for the people. So if you reside in states like Minnesota or Massachusetts, well, you may qualify for at least another stimulus check this year. It comes as budgets are being finalized, states are planning to use the budget surpluses for another round of checks. So a lot of good things are happening in Congress, and a lot of stimulus payments can actually be sent out faster than we ever thought in the history of our lives. So, as I was saying, it's official. The governor in several states like Minnesota have actually hoped to include a tax rebate in the state's upcoming budget. It comes from the announcements of the state's budget. It's set to go for January 24. And according to the Associated Press, well, the budget will propose indexing state aid for school districts just to help combat inflation. So Waltz has told reporters that I think people are feeling inflation. Even though it might be cooling a little bit, there's a slight sense of urgency among people to get something done. Big news has been announced, and there are new proposals currently on the table. It would make a dramatic positive impact for the Social Security people. Joe Biden is making a big decision on this in order to try to avoid Social Security cuts for all recipients. Top senators for both parties are working to save Social Security benefits. Everyone in DC knows that Social Security is in trouble. They only have to listen to the federal government and the program's trustees. In the latest report, the trustees projected that Social Security's combined trust funds is already running out of money, and by 2034, the program's done. But some in Washington are working on solutions to prevent the program from becoming insolvent. One of them, Senate Republican Bill Cassidy, recently revealed what he called a big idea in a webcast hosted by the Bipartisan Policy Center that could roughly save 75% of the program's projected shortfall. The proposal is to create an investment fund that's completely separate from Social Security's current trust funds. This new investment fund would invest money in the stock market, where Social Security trust funds currently put money in treasury bills or cash. Now, what I mean is that he called Social Security's current approach the Silicon Valley Bank of pension funds, a reference to the failed bank that was acquired by the First Citizens Bank. He argued that this federal program is the worst investment strategy you can have right now. The separate fund isn't really a new idea, though, because he pointed to other funds, including the Canada Plan and Ontario Pensions Plan for teachers, that were in bad shape financially but became solvent by using a market-based strategy. There are some details remaining to be worked out. For instance, some people think the proposed plan will be a gap stop to guarantee that if they won't lose money if the stock market underperforms.